I'm standing here in People's Park, a park made by and for the people of Berkeley. Since its creation in 1969, the park has been a hotly debated piece of land. And, based on a report released just last week, the debate is still not over, with UC Berkeley proposing that a number of changes be made to the park. Though the UC holds legal title over People's Park, the people of Berkeley have fought vehemently for nearly 40 years for the park to remain free and open. In 1968, the university evicted the residents living there and bulldozed their houses, turning the site into a muddy parking lot. In 1969, students and the local community decided to take back the land for the people of Berkeley. Thousands showed up to lay sod and plant trees, turning it into a community meeting place. Yet, not even a month went by before then-Chancellor Roger Hines secretly called in 250 law enforcement officers armed with rifles and bulletproof vests. They erected an 8-foot fence around the premises, and protesters marched the campus, rallying around the park's barricades. As the situation escalated, the scene grew more violent. Police fired tear gas into the crowd, while deputies fired shotguns at students. James Rector, a UC Berkeley student, was killed while sitting atop a friend's roof. While the protesting continued, Governor Ronald Reagan ordered in the National Guard, suspending the right to public assembly and using a helicopter to spray Army-grade tear gas over Sproul Plaza. It wasn't until 1972 when the fence was torn down. Today, the park remains open and free, but every few years the UC tries to assert its ownership over the park by proposing new development plans. And this year is no different. The university has hired MK Think, a national green building think tank, to come up with proposals for the park, some of which include building student and community center pavilions, taking out trees for visibility, making the park more accessible, and reevaluating the services provided there. At November 5th's People's Park Advisory Board meeting, some of the proposals were met with strong resistance.
Well, first of all, I want to say you need to take out that the social services are ineffective, because that's slander on freedom of arms.
One park activist paid homage to James Rector.
There's already James Rector. Several other people have died because of the university's actions in that park.
While others called into question the university's motives.
Basically, the reality here, in case anyone is wondering, they don't want you, your family, or any students to be in touch with the most radical elements of this city. And that's it.
For others, safety at the park was the major concern.
So I think the problem right now isn't who is in the park, it's who isn't in the park. And some changes are going to have to happen.
Many services are available at People's Park, including Food Not Bombs, an organization that provides free food to the homeless every day. Yet the People's Park Advisory Board claims that this new report aims at getting rid of these services in order to inadvertently detract homeless from coming to the park. I spoke with park frequenters who had a lot to say about the recent proposals, the divide between students and community, and on the park in general. So what do you think about the proposal to build a student or community center?
Well, I would be against building a student center because UC students bore me to tears. And frankly, they can come here right now. This already is kind of a student center if they wanted it to be. It's a green space, all you need to do is come and relax. It's, I don't think it's necessary to have a building to signify that you can come somewhere and interact with people.
Why do you think students don't come right now? Can you explain the lack of student presence?
Well, that's a good question. I think it has mainly to do with, it's the same reason why most Berkeley students won't get involved in any kind of political activism. I think generally speaking, UC Berkeley students at this point in time are raised in an atmosphere of that's very limited and very, very insulated from the rest, from people who are poor. And, it's really a shame. But, I've been here long enough to say pretty much frankly, a lot of UC Berkeley students are spoiled. They're a little bit removed from, some of the grittier reality that exists here in People's Park.
What do you think about building student or community pavilions here?
I wouldn't want anything. No more cement. No more cement, bricks, blocks, nothing like that. Yeah, that's not a park, it's a building.
It is still unknown when and if the university will implement any of these changes. But one thing is certain. People's Park has played an instrumental role in the history of Berkeley, and students, as well as the university, should ensure that the traditions and spirit of People's Park remain alive for years to come. This is Natalie Hayden reporting for CalTV.